This week,
teachers receive COVID vaccinations.
Student Council and West Friends celebrate Spread the Word Inclusion Week.
And a senior discusses his passion for making music, all here on the MWHS Wildcat News. Good morning, Wildcats. I'm Edison Geiler.
And I'm Jenna Reynolds. As March is Women's History Month, Justice and Diversity League is putting up another mural like they did with Black History Month and Indigenous Peoples History Month. The posters right outside the library aim to educate students about important women in history, and they will be accompanied with a few activities. We will have more coverage later in the month, but for now we turn our attention to one of the biggest stories over last weekend.
Today marks 1 year since Millard Public Schools shut down at the infancy of the COVID-19 pandemic. And though this has been a rough year for everyone, we're continuing to see more progress. On Saturday, March 6th, teachers around the state received COVID vaccinations as both the Nebraska and federal government rolls out vaccines. Millard teachers specifically visited Millard North to receive the shot, and here with more details is Miguel Paredes Reyes.
On Saturday, March 6th, Millard Public Schools held a mass vaccination event for all Millard faculty to be given the new Johnson & Johnson COVID vaccine. Almost a year after Millard Public Schools announced it would be closing all schools due to COVID-19, this has been the most anticipated and emotional milestone since the start of the pandemic.
It is a long time coming. We're very excited and grateful to have been in school actually all this time, but we're very excited for this extra layer of protection for our educators and then staff as well once it's their turn. And we're just excited to be a part of this, and we're very ready and able to get our vaccines.
Teachers were able to sign up for a time slot to get their vaccine, which was organized from oldest to youngest staff members.
Back at end of December, early January, they sent a survey out to all staff to say, indicate if you want the vaccine or not. And if you say yes, you can always decline later, but you need to say yes if you want to get on our list. When they found out that we have 1,000 doses, they, from oldest down to youngest, they just pulled the first 1,000 names that said they wanted the vaccine.
As usual for most vaccines for any virus, the coronavirus vaccine came with a couple minuscule side effects a few hours after the injection.
I got the vaccine at 3. I felt great until 6 o'clock. At 6 o'clock, I felt incredibly fatigued, extremely fatigued. At 9 o'clock, I had extreme chills and fever that came and went. I was very impressed. There was a follow-up with the vaccine, and so I reported my symptoms to the follow-up email that I got, and I actually did get a call from CDC confirming the side effects were normal.
As soon as teachers got their vaccines, they couldn't wait to share the emotional experience with their friends, family, and fellow teachers.
That was overwhelming emotionally, and then just seeing my co-teacher Erica Campbell right there next to me, and I just started tearing up at just how far we've come, how much we've been through, how hard we've worked, and just to have that be one more safeguard for us, that was really emotional.
In the next few weeks, all teachers that wish to be vaccinated will have had their shot. For the MWHS Wildcat News, this has been Miguel Paredes Reyes.
In other big news this week, the boys basketball team took on Lincoln Pius X in the first round of the NSAA Class A State Championship Tournament on Tuesday. The 5th-seeded Wildcats came into the game fresh off a thrilling shootout win against Westside and districts that punched their ticket to the state bracket, while the 4th-seeded Thunderbolts still retained a spot in the tournament after districts lost to Lincoln East.
The game ended in a 47-45 victory for the Cats off a buzzer beater from senior Evan Meyersick in response to a Thunderbolt 3. Millard West will play Millard North in the semifinal round at 6:15 tonight, so make sure to get your tickets.
Last week, however, Student Council and West Friends celebrated Spread the Word Inclusion Week. Each day, students dressed up for Spirit Week, which included Western clothing, sports attire, and wearing all blue. Students could also sign a banner in the comments by the administration office to pledge to always use inclusive language. Dana Summers and I talked with Student Council and West Friends members to find out more.
From Monday, March 1st to Friday, March 5th, Student Council partnered with West Friends to help spread the word about Inclusion Week. Posters in the hallways advertised Spirit Days, as well as a special event at lunch.
During lunch every day, we set up this poster for everybody to sign, and it's basically like a pledge you can take. And it's basically saying that you'll spread inclusion and you'll stop judging people by their physical ability, and then you'll stop saying the R word as well.
Another driving force behind this event was sophomore Taylor Hand, who is involved in both clubs that helped plan out this Inclusion Week.
I'm in Student Council and I'm in West Friends. I'm also involved in a group for Special Olympics Nebraska called the Youth Activation Committee, which is the people who brought all these things. And so I wanted to bring two clubs here together to help promote Spread the Word to End the Word Week.
While other students may not have had a direct connection, many still chose to sign the pledge to include.
Well, I saw it in the hallway, like walking by, I saw them doing that, and I kind of stopped by and talked to the people who were working it, and they kind of just told me what it was all about. I think when you sign something, it's kind of like you're saying, like, I'm going to be part of this inclusive act, and so it kind of just keeps you accountable for that.
With the poster of names being hung outside the ACP classroom, this event was intended to promote more inclusive language in people's everyday lives.
The R word especially is kind of become normalized, and ever since people started doing things like this, Spread the Word to End the Word, I've heard it a lot less.
Overall, Inclusion Week was a success, with lots of participation in Spirit Days and the many signatures pledging to include. This has been Dana Summers and Jenna Reynolds with the MWHS Wildcat News.
And still continuing until spring break, the Library Reading Challenge is in full force. For every book you read, you can fill out a form on the library website to enter in a drawing for a Barnes & Noble gift card and a Grogu poster.
And not that they can be submitted for the challenge, but the library also has prep books for juniors and sophomores preparing for the ACT and pre-ACT later this month.
Both grades have already begun preparations with the beloved John Baylor in On to College videos, but for extra help, make sure to check out one of the library's books.
And coming from the music department, the choir hosted their first choir concert in the auditorium since the beginning of the pandemic on Monday.
Many students from each of the three choirs were able to sing for the recorded video, which they later shared with parents and friends. Take a look.
And while some students are singing pre-made songs, some are creating their own music. Ever since listening to the song A Million Dreams from The Greatest Showman, senior Dominic Zolan has found his passion for music. He not only writes, produces, and masters his songs, but also promotes them on social media apps like TikTok, which he discussed with Madeline Christensen and Miguel Paredes Reyes. Take a look.
L is for the way you look at me.
Senior Dominic Zolan is a young and upcoming artist that found his passion for music just a few years ago.
I watched the movie The Greatest Showman. I heard a song that I really liked called A Million Dreams, and there's this really cool piano intro to the song, and I just kind of wanted to see if I could play it, and so I just sat down at the piano and listened to it and figured out how to do it just by ear.
Zolan has immense talent in many aspects of music, including songwriting, singing, producing, and plays many instruments, including guitar and piano.
I just love to, express myself and be creative and have fun with it.
Zolan was able to get a big break when his song was featured on the Channel 6 News.
They actually texted me about an hour and a half before he was going to be on there, so we didn't even know. And I was glad I checked my text message because we would have missed it. It just said, Dominic is going to be on the news tonight at, 6:30. And I said, Dominic, you're going to be on the news tonight. So it was kind of fun. I, texted a few different family members and told them to watch.
I got the magic in me.
To develop his talent for music even more, Zolan has been taking music theory at school to become better at his passion.
I'd say he's very creative with what he's doing. He's got a good sense for what's happening, I think, from a musical standpoint. He's very natural at writing lyrics, which is kind of a gift. So he's good at doing that, and he's just got a drive. He really wants to learn, and it's kind of a passion for him.
His parents have helped support him as he continues to attract attention for his talent.
Just really encouraging him. So when he started playing, and we were, really amazed at just the talent that he had. So just encouraging him to keep playing.
I see you driving around town with the girl I love, and I'm like, forget you.
This has been Maddie Christensen and Miguel Paredes Reyes for the MWHS Wildcat News.
Attention seniors, if you have pictures from the last 4 years of high school you want to share at the end of the year, email mwesseniors21@gmail.com to submit photos.
They will be used for a Class of 2021 video at both the senior banquet event and before graduation at Baxter Arena. Submissions are due April 16th, but you're encouraged to turn them in as early as possible.
And that's all for this week, Wildcats. To see the latest in the news, be sure to visit our online website and follow our social media. If you're interested in other stories we've covered during the years, check out our previous broadcasts. For the MWHS Wildcat News, this has been Edison Geiler
and Jenna Reynolds. We'll see you next week.